My name is Rob Makowski, and I work for Bear Crop Science as a digital integration specialist. Today, I'm going to cover how to create a Proline or Proline GOLD fungicide script for a canola sclerotinia application. This can be done through the Climate FieldView platform on climatefieldview.ca and using the manual scripting tool. The first thing you'll want to do is start by making sure that you're logged into your FieldView account. This right here is the landing page that you're going to see when you're logged in and you have fields mapped in your FieldView account. Next, you're going to want to click on this prescriptions tab right here at the top in order to open up the prescription tool. This screen does take a little time to load, so I've already opened it up and I have it sitting here waiting for us right here. Next thing I'm going to want to do is select a field to create the script on. And for this demonstration purposes, I'm going to do a search and I'm going to choose my Canola field. I'm going to choose it right there. Next thing I'm going to do is click where you see at the bottom, create new prescription. Through the prescriptions tab, you can create a script for fertility, planting, and crop protection. Today, I'm going to walk you through creating a on-off Proline GOLD fungicide script for a canola field. So in this case, I'm going to choose protection, and you'll see here manual crop protection prescription, and hit start. So the feature that has been recently added is the ability to generate zones from a map layer. And this is what I'll be using here today. And the first layer that's been added is in-season scouting images. So I'm going to hit next. So here I get the chance to choose my map layer. So we'll choose an in-season, scouting, and the season. And we're going to choose an image here right away. So during the growing season, the recommendation is to use the image as close to fungicide application timing as possible without moving too far from a good representation of the current state of the crop. Generally, this would be the most recent satellite imagery closest to your date of application. And for this demonstration, I will choose this July 8th image. And I'll hit next. So this auto zone creation will identify the lower biomass areas of the field that may not benefit from a sclerotinia fungicide application. In areas of the field with very low to low plant populations, sclerotinia is less likely to develop and is likely to have a lower yield potential. You will have the ability to turn on and off these zones in the field and choose to only apply fungicide to the zones that you know will benefit the most from an application of Proline or Proline GOLD. So the auto zone enhancement in the manual scripting tool will automatically generate 5 zones in your field. And the tool gives you the ability to adjust the zones to a minimum of 2 or to a maximum of 12. For Proline fungicide applications targeting sclerotinia, we'd recommend starting with no less than the 5 zones automatically generated. If you feel the variability in your field is greater than these 5 zones, you can adjust to 6 or 7 or whatever you feel is representative of your field. And I do want to call out an important tip, and that is to make sure that your field boundaries are accurate so you're getting the most representative scouting image for your field. For example, if you have not cut out a group of trees or sloughs or say a yard site, this will appear as a high biomass area and will throw off the accuracy of the scouting image. Spending that little extra time to have the best boundaries possible will set you up for much better success. So the first thing we want to do is scroll over these zones with your mouse. And one important thing I'm going to call out is that the zones aren't arranged by the biomass legend of the scouting image. They're actually arranged in size from the smallest to the largest amount of acres by zone. So this means that zone 1 does not necessarily always mean that this is the zone with the highest or the lowest biomass. So you'll want to make sure that you look at what each zone is representing. So I'm going to stick with these 5 zones. I like those, and I'm going to hit next. So now we're going to enter in the product application details. So here we know we're spraying a fungicide, right? So we know it's a liquid product. It is going to be a fungicide. And here we get to choose our product. So in this case, we're going to look for Proline GOLD. And there it is there. We're going to choose that product. Next, we're going to enter in our planned application date. So we're just going to roll back. So we're going to say if this was last year and we were spraying it mid or early July, we're going to say July 10th as our application, our planned application date. And then here you'll see the name of the prescription file that was created. The system will default to naming it by field, the product, and the date that you created the script. You can always rename the file to something that makes the best sense to your farm operation. But I'm going to leave this one as is and hit Finish in Editor. So on this next screen is now where we're going to be able to enter in the rates of application for each of those zones. And we're going to see that page here pop up shortly. So when the screen opens up, what you're going to see here is, or what you're looking at here is the actual application rate map. And here's the boxes where we get to enter in the rates. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the image so I can change the map right here. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to change it to More Maps and go back to that in-season scouting 2021. I want to bring up that scouting image and I want to use that as our base layer to work off of and hit Done. If you had any other data layer maps for a field such as this, you'd be able to select any of them and view them as a layer under these created maps. So next we're going to enter in the rates that we're going to apply the Proline Gold. So as you know, the labeled water volume rate for Proline Gold application in canola is a minimum of 10 gallons per acre water. So that's what I'm going to enter in here today. I am going to apply Proline to these zones, so I know from scrolling over the image that zone 1 is my area of lowest biomass, so that's these red areas. So we're going to enter that as 0 because we're not going to apply any product into those areas. But we're going to be applying Proline to where we know that there is canola, where we're going to see the return on investment, and that is zones 2, 3, 4, and 5. Because as we know from scouting this field and from my agronomist, that we confirm that that zone 1 is a real poor area of the field, won't benefit from the fungicide application, and it is the lowest amount of, has the lowest amount of biomass as seen in this July 8th scouting image. So another important tip, low biomass in areas of the field should always be ground truthed and compared to the scouting maps. The FieldView platform takes the average of the field and it divides it into these 5 categories of biomass. The low biomass is relative to the amount of biomass in that one specific field versus this highest areas of biomass within the same field. So now that I've decided which zones I'm going to spray, I'm going to change my view back to that current prescription. So I'm going to change my map and we're going to view this current prescription based off of the application rates that we entered. So next I'm going to show you how to merge the zones into just 2 zones to make this on-off prescription. Since we're applying Proline to zones 2 to 5, we're going to merge those zones together. So I'm going to hit the button Merge, and now I'm going to choose these zones 2, 3, 4, and 5, and I'm going to hit Save. So now as it's loading, you're going to see that we're going to have 2 zones on our screen. And also, once these zones load, you can see how many acres of each zone is represented in the field by the areas that are going to be sprayed, so on, and the areas of the field that won't be sprayed, which will be off. And you'll see it load up here shortly. There it is. We have 43 acres in zone 1 and 246 acres in zone 2. So now the last thing you're going to want to do is hit the Save button right here at the top. And you'll see we're going to save the changes and you'll see a success screen pop up that we have created this script. There you go. The script was successfully saved. And there it is. So if we go to that crop protection script, so last thing you'll have to do is we now have that ability to be able to export this prescription in the appropriate format that will work with your sprayer, that you'll be able to take this script and load it into your sprayer rate controller. So thank you so much for watching today. And I sure hope that you've been able to learn how easy it is to create a FieldView script, an application script for your farm. Thank you.